Shalom, call Lime La, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akadash, double honor to the elders and apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. Shalom to Yakim in the faith, doing the work in truth and sincerity. I pray that this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. The title of this lesson is going to be Prophecies within Prophecies. I got the inspiration to do this lesson from the Lord, of course. Secondly, also from just doing news research, just from keeping up and just scrolling. So I'd like to bring some news to y'all attention, which is pretty much just happened yesterday. You see, this is a different scenario, what you're reading right there, the 2022. I'm not sure what that was about, but there was something that happened yesterday within the last 48 hours. An important bridge, I'll go to the maps to give you guys a picture of what's going on. An important bridge got destroyed. A bridge that the Medes use, that the Ashar use, that Russia used, the head chief, who we call Russia today, Crimean Bridge. And this bridge is used for a lot of resources to get things from one place to another, whether it may be goods and grains, which is the biggest thing that is known for. This is not it yet. Bear with me. That's not it. Crimean Bridge. There it is. So this right here is it. And then I'm going to show y'all a closer picture. So this bridge right here pretty much connects it connects the two places that you see there. I guess it's easier for them to go from one place to another this way rather than around. And they have a deal, which I'm going to get into, Lord willing. And Russia making noise, man. We're going to get right into it, Lord willing. Just bear with me. Okay, Khan. Russia grain deal. Let's see if we can get a article real quick. The latest. Okay, Khan. This seems pretty reputable. It says strike on the Crimean Bridge is a provocation. In other words, they're provoking Russian Federation so as not to extend a grain deal. This is how the Operation Command South arm Ukraine comments on the incident. So this blah 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 blah. So let me try to define this. I should have had this already. Salakia. Bear with me. So in other words, Russia has a grain deal with Ukraine where they supply a lot of grain because they're the biggest producers. Not the biggest producer, but they produce about 30% of the world's grain, so that's major. It might sound like a little bit, but if you take out 30% of the production of the world's grain, pretty much the other grain producers and exporters are going to charge more because it's less. That's what makes things more valuable, is the less and the rarity that it is. The more limited it is, the more costly it's going to be. Price and demand. I got some scriptures, but I just want to cover this really quickly, Lord willing. I just want to get a paragraph or two, and then, So they had a deal in place until the Ukrainian bombed the bridge, because they're at war right now. And, for whatever reason, they did it. The world's going to suffer because of it. And that's why I got the title of the lesson, Prophecies within Prophecies, because all the cards are on the table. Although you have the major three prophecies, which is the MOTB, Jacob's Trouble, World War III, of course. But within those big prophecies, you have intertwining prophecies, which is going to lead from one stage to the next, So, Khan, we don't got to get all that gibberish in. I just kind of describe and explain everything, but here you can see Moscow decision to raise concern primarily in Africa and Asia, rising food prices and hunger. So Russia was trying to look out for the countries that suffer from hunger, Libya and all those other countries. But Ukraine went ahead and messed it up, which is really America, which is really going to lead to, pretty much war, long story short. So, Khan, now you guys have a visual of the bridge of where it is on the map. Let's see if we can get an image. Yes, it got. You don't need a big damage for you to halt traffic. You can't just patch that up. You can't put a bandit on it. Yeah, they could have decimated it, put it in the water, blew it up completely. But that's all you need is a little crack, And it's unsafe. It can kill many people. And actually 3 people were killed, so judgment of the Lord. That's another form of judgment. It was 2 parents and a child. The child actually survived and told the story, whatever the case may be. So yeah, this happened yesterday, man. So these Americans think that war is never coming, but they just don't understand. Noise is being made, and Americans aren't getting the true news. They aren't getting the filtered news because America pushes out its own propaganda and wants to be seen as the good guys when they're really not. Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 17. Ezra goes, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days, because it's going to be bad. The beginning of sorrows, great mournings, the beginning of famine, great death, the beginning of wars, the powers shall stand in the fear. The beginning of bad times, evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And to back that precept up, it says the beginning of sorrows, Mark chapter 13, verse 8. This is the prophecies within prophecies, because it's not a major prophecy that that family are going to turn on to each other and that earthquakes are going to happen. But, it's going to happen, though. It's a part of prophecy. It's going to happen within Jacob's trouble. That's what makes Jacob's trouble is all the things that are going on with it. So we can't disregard these things, although it didn't seem important for me to do this lesson to focus on the Crimean Bridge War. But all these things are just puzzling pieces, which will make sense later on to us, Verse 8, and it reads, Mark 13, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places. There shall be famines. So that's another prophecy within prophecy, the famines. That bridge collapsing, now Turkey, now Libya, now the other South African countries that depend on Ukraine's grain or Russia's grain, whatever the case may have been, they're going to have to pay for it now. And really everywhere around the world's going to have to pay for it. If you want to have some sort of grain, and really grain is important, man. I don't think you can have bread without grain. I believe they classify wheat as a grain. Let's get that. And wheat is a staple. No wheat, no food. Yep. Rice, that's a staple. No rice, man. Asians would die. Continuing on, I wanted to get this next verse. Bear with me. I know we kind of a lot of fast talking. I'm going to try to slow it down, but at the same time, wrap it up. Mark chapter 3, verse 24. If a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. That's right, man. And really, they're the same people. They're the same Edomites, that come from the same tree. They just divided. The Lord have put war in their hearts, has put alliances with one side and alliances on the other side. And now kingdom's going to go against kingdom, man. Because it's time for these kingdoms to fall, for Yahushua to come and usher in his kingdom. So we'll continue on in 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague and tribulations and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. And the amendment is a change. So the Lord's doing all these things so he could change these people. Because these people, they're not going to learn the easy way like the elect are. Because the elect shall be scarcely saved. So these people got to get done in the worst way. So, so they don't forget. And so they won't do it again when they come back. So they know better. But for all these things, they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor shall be always mindful of the scourges. So that's why the Lord got to do it so bad, because the Lord are going to judge them on a small scale like we are seeing today. And it's going to ramp up a little bit. But they're going to still continue being wicked. So it's just like you got to do the full button. You got to fry them completely. Back to dust. Verse 21, this is the point. Behold, victuals, meaning goods, shall be so good and cheap upon the earth. So right now, yeah, you're seeing inflation, but people don't understand hyperinflation, where you're giving up all your belongings just for a slice of bread. Not even a 5-course meal, not even a month food full of pantry, or a month pantry full of food. That they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So, you got all those intertwining into another, all those little prophecies going into the major prophecies, making the prophecies even bigger, man. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. And we're going to back that up with Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through the want of the fruits of the field. You know, dying of hunger is a slow, antagonizing death. You know, that ain't nothing fun. You know, and if you don't die of hunger, you're going to be begging for death from somebody else. You're going to look for war, man. You know? Or the sword going to chop you up. You might be somebody's dinner. Somebody might just eat you and shake with trouble. If you wicked. You know, the wicked going to get eaten up. Because cannibalism is going to be a thing. So, yeah, within the last 24 hours, this is what happened. Ukrainians provoking the Russians to halt a grain deal, which is going to skyrocket a lot of foods. So look into that whenever you get the chance, and continue to keep watch with that. Call line like y'all about Shem Yahshai, double on to the elders and apostles GMS, y'all on to y'all faith and work, true sincerity, shalom.